Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's Francesco here. I hope you're all well and I just want to welcome you to the Friday segment. The Friday segment is basically an opportunity for you to go deeper with an application, something that will give you a bit more insight into a service that you already use, or an extension or service to a new application that we haven't mentioned. So what we're going to do in this video is be passing everything over to Scott Friesen. Now Scott is a productivity YouTuber as well. He has been covering productivity methodology and apps like me for the last year, and he's been doing a fantastic job. His YouTube channel name is Simpletivity, and I'll include it in the link in the description, as well as all this information, because what he's going to be doing today is running through Trello. He's going to go really deep with how he uses Trello, how you can be using Trello across your day. He's going to be teaching you about projects and to-do lists and using notes inside of Trello, but also an active way, for example, how he used it to organize a trip to Las Vegas with his wife. So a very hands-on approach to this video. Without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Scott and let him take over the session. So as per normal, thank you very much guys. Make sure to have a great week, keep productive, and enjoy the video. Cheers.
Hi, Scott Friesen here at Simpletivity. I want to thank Francesco for having me on the channel today and share with you one of my favorite applications and how I use it. I have helped people for nearly a decade to be more effective and efficient with their workday. And time again, I recommend that they check out and use Trello. Trello, I think, is one of the most flexible applications available to us. It can help you to organize almost anything. And today, I want to show you how to organize something in your professional life, but also in your personal life. Two ways that I use Trello on a regular basis. So, without any further ado, let's get to the demo. Trello is an excellent application for collaborating with others, excellent for organizing things, especially projects, but it can also be a very powerful tool for personal productivity. And today I want to show you how to set up a Trello board to be your own personal productivity system. Here you can see I've created 3 lists. I've got my notes and ideas list, I've got a projects list, and I've got a to-do list. And I've actually put it in this order on purpose because I'm going to be moving from left to right as I first have the idea or the suggestion comes to me. I decide if I want to make it a project, something that I'm actually going to pursue, and then I need to determine what are the steps I need to take to fulfill or complete that project. And where I find many people get stuck with their own personal productivity systems is that they use 3 different applications, sometimes on 3 different devices, to manage these things. They may have a separate note app to jot down ideas and those types of things. They may have a separate project application, and that could be Trello, and then they have a separate to-do list or task manager. And because you can't see all 3 of these on the same screen at the same time, often it can lead to some frustration as to why do my tasks not align with my projects? Well, the answer is often very simple because you are not looking at them or not being able to see them at the same time. Trello gives us the ability to have these 3 different lists, but be able to see their relation to one another at the same time. So I can start with my notes and ideas, and of course Trello makes it really easy. You can email ideas, forward emails directly to this list if that's helpful. I'm just going to put down a few things here as an example. You know, maybe I'm thinking about redesigning a website, thinking about writing a book. Maybe I'm also I should call my long lost friend. How about that? That's an idea that is probably worth giving some attention to. Next up, I've got my projects list. So, what am I actually going to pursue? Maybe the only thing that I'm going to pursue right now is the website redesign. That's something that I think is worth pursuing. I'm going to add that as a project. I can have other projects on here as well. Maybe I'm going to hire some new staff And lastly, I am going to create a new exercise routine. How about that? Those are sort of my three big projects. Now, the last one is critical here in terms of its relation with the projects. Again, I work with so many people who manage their to-do list. They seem to be effective with getting through a number of tasks each and every day, but only a handful, and sometimes not even a handful of those tasks, relate directly to those projects. So I'm not suggesting that all of your to-dos need to relate directly to these projects over here, but making sure that most of them, that the majority of them, are relating to your big goals or your big projects. So in my to-do list here, I can say, decide on a website budget. Maybe that's a to-do that directly aligns with this one here. Maybe I need to hire a designer, is something that needs to be related to my website redesign. That might also be related to hire new staff, and maybe I want to find a good exercise book. How about that? That's going to help me determine my new exercise routine. So this is just a very basic, just a very simple example of how something can start with a notes or idea. It can transform into a project, and then I can keep coming back and making sure that my to-dos align with my projects. I tend to do a weekly review. Once a week, I can look at my projects and make sure that I have action items that relate directly to it. Now let's dive a little bit deeper on the to-do list and why I think Trello can be a very effective and powerful to-do list. Of course, you can sort your to-dos in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be by alphabetical order or even by due date. But of course, Trello gives you the ability to add a due date. It really couldn't be a task manager if you weren't able to add a due date to it. Of course, Trello has many different labels, and you can add text to these labels if you like, or you can just leave them as colors. So if you want to highlight things in a certain manner, in a certain fashion, you can do that as well. But what I love about managing my to-dos and my tasks within Trello is the ability to customize so much of this layout, the colors, the way things are grouped together, and of course, deep down inside the card, I can add a lot of gory details. I can add a description. All of them include active links. So if I add a website, if I add a URL, I can click on it and get it right there. I can add attachments. I can add images that show up right on the front of my card. I can add checklists within my task. And although there are a few to-do lists that also have these types of capabilities, I just find it is so much more flexible here within the Trello universe. So consider using Trello as a to-do list. It can be a very powerful to-do list if you just want to use it as a task manager alone, but also as you keep track of your notes, ideas, and projects as well. Now, the second thing I'd like to show you today is how to use Trello for some personal planning, maybe for some more fun planning. And here I've got an example from a vacation that my wife and I took a few years ago to Las Vegas. And again, Trello really flexes its muscle when you think of a process, when you think of something that needs to move left to right, or when you want to be able to drag your cards in Trello to other parts of the board. So for this trip to Las Vegas, as a part of our vacation planning, we created two lists at the beginning. One was things to do ideas, and this was full of, as you can see, a variety of casinos and shows and experiences, things that we were thinking of doing. We even included a map here of the Las Vegas Strip so we could reference it later. And within some of these, we have further information about some of those shows, some of those details. The next list was our food ideas, places that we were considering going to eat. And as you can see here, we were definitely looking at many of the buffets during our 4-day stay in Las Vegas, places that we had either been, recommended by friends or just seemed interesting places that we'd like to eat while we were there. Now, the rest of the board is very different. The rest of the board is laid out for the days, as in the days of the week that we were going to be there. We were arriving on the Monday, and then you could see we were scheduled to fly home on the Friday. So the bulk of our, entertainment days, the days that we can actually do things, were going to be Tuesday through Thursday. So how does this work? Well, the closer we got to this vacation, we were able to drag and drop and plug in both things to do and also places that we wanted to eat on those particular days. So I believe it was only just, 3 or 4 days before we were set to arrive in Vegas. We said, you know what, we're going to, I think that first full day, we'd like to go to that show on Tuesday. We'd also like to, check out this earlier in the day at Circus. And let's also drop by Hershey's Chocolate World as a part of our outing that day, and let's eat at this buffet before the show. So you could see we could just start to drag and drop these items into that particular day. Now, it didn't mean that we necessarily had to do it in this order, but I think just before that day we would rearrange things so it made sense as to where things were located or where we would be in the day, making sure that we ate before the show, etc. But we had a nice itinerary laid out for us for that vacation day. And because we didn't want to repeat ourselves, it was great to be able to remove it from the things to do and the food ideas list. Now, as we started to plan out Wednesday, these options were no longer available to us or no longer appeared in these lists. And now we could start to look at other things. And so it would just continue on. We would continue to drag things that we would like to do on this day and places that we might like to eat on subsequent days as well. So I'm sure there are many, many other ways that you could use this style of a Trello board in your world, whether it is for business or whether it is for personal use. But again, Trello, such a versatile, such a flexible tool, can be used in so many different ways. And I hope that's given you a few ideas in your own life. So I hope that little demonstration gave you a few new ideas of how you can use Trello. If you'd like to learn more about using Trello or other applications or how to get more out of your day, I would encourage you to visit simpletivity.com. And please be sure to subscribe to the Simpletivity YouTube channel. We have many more videos on other productivity applications and how you can get the most out of your day. I want to thank Francesco once again for having me today, and remember, being productive does not need to be difficult. In fact, it's very simple.